Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. We are the Stream Catchers. This is AB along with Jack. Jack, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Feeling good, feeling great. We are in the last week of our No Streams to Catch episodes. We have Hawkeye coming out this week, 2 episodes of Hawkeye, so lots to look
Right.
forward to. Figure we can cap off this stretch of No Streams to Catch with a preview for Hawkeye, plus that gorgeous Spider-Man trailer that dropped earlier this week we can talk about. And then you also wanted to talk about Eternals a little bit more since you saw it the other night. So lots
Yeah.
to
Do you want to open up with that? Because I don't have a whole lot to say. I just want to tell you that I watched it a second time and I think I enjoyed it more the second time.
Good deal. Yeah, let's start off with the Turtles. That's perfect. So what did you like more about it this go around?
I think just having a little bit better grip on the characters going into it. I felt a little bit better managing the timelines, managing like the relationships with one another, and I don't know. I caught more than I did the first time for sure, and it definitely changes how I feel about the movie. Like it's definitely not bottom tier, which is I think where I would have put it on a list. I don't remember if I ranked it, but I think it's going to go closer to the middle of things. I think I'm glancing at my list over there across the room. Yeah, it was good. It's a good movie. It's a solid show.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it the second time around because I felt the same way. I watched it that second time before we recorded, and I felt like, yeah, this is a really good movie, and I don't understand why it's getting thrashed the way that it
Yeah,
has been. Did you feel that Icarus was a bit more obvious this time around?
I was definitely looking for Icarus's kind of dark side. I guess
Yeah.
I was picking him apart, looking for his darkness, and I guess I kind of see it. I mean, it just makes sense. He's such a soldier, right? Like he is
Yes.
all about the mission, so it really does make sense what he did. But yeah, it was even just as satisfying, in my opinion, watching him betray Ajax. Like
Yeah.
it was so cool. Like I can't say enough good things about a second watch. So like this movie really deserves a second watch.
I think, yeah, more so than really in any of the other Marvel movies that came out, at least this year. I think for
Yeah.
sure that it needs to be watched twice, just based on length and how much they jammed into it.
Hmm.
As for Icarus, yeah, I don't feel like with the first watch around, I didn't see it coming. It was out of left field for me. The
Yeah.
second go around, I felt, okay, this I could see why he is this way. It felt like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, he's definitely uh darker, like you said, a soldier, very straightforward, greater good sort of thing almost.
Hmm.
But again, yeah, it felt good, or not, I don't know, good, satisfying, or the right way to go by having him turn on Ajax again, watching it on that second rewatch. So that's good. I'm glad you got a second viewing in on it. And I'm glad that
Hmm.
it held up for you. If not, sounds like even better.
I also cared a lot more about Kit Harington's character Dane a lot more, knowing that he's going to be something
Yeah,
big in the Marvel universe upcoming. So
absolutely.
that, and I feel like all of because the first time I watched it, it was pretty exposition heavy, and it kind of had to be because they're really teaching you this whole new side of the universe, right? You're
Yeah.
learning characters, you're learning about Arishem, you're learning a lot more about Celestials, and I think that having watched it once, you get your baseline knowledge, and then with the second watch, you can kind of feel a little more empathy about the characters and how all of these revelations affect the characters instead of just learning it yourself. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I definitely do. Yeah. I think it needs to have a second watch around. I think that when you get to that second watch, you're more familiar with the characters, you're more attached to them, especially knowing how they end up at the end of the movie. And
Yeah.
I think that this movie, when we eventually get Eternals 2, or if it's a series or whatever they're going to do with it, I'm sure it'll be Eternals 2. Whenever that does come, I think that might even enhance this a little bit more, similar to the way that WandaVision enhanced Age of Ultron a bit. I think
Yeah.
that we can hope that that's the case. But I thought this was great. I think it was my favorite of the 3 Marvel movies this year. I don't think it'll top Spider-Man next month, but it's definitely worth a watch or two. And I don't understand why it got thrashed the way that it has.
Yeah, I think I would probably put it neck and neck with Black Widow. I did tell you I watched Shang-Chi a second time, right?
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
I think I did. Okay, yeah. Shang-Chi, I was hoping I would feel the same way about a second watch with Shang-Chi, but I really didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, Shang-Chi fell a few notches for me. I probably more than a few notches for me on my rankings. I think Eternals definitely rose up though. I think I have
Yeah,
it probably 17th, 18th, somewhere in the middle
that
of the
sounds
road
about
for
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it is very good. I'm very excited for what they're going to do with those characters in the future. And shame on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll say that.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you going to do indeed? Well,
Yeah.
this week it's all about Hawkeye, and I'm so
Yeah.
excited for this show. I think that it's kind of flying under the radar a bit just because of Eternals a few weeks ago. Plus, there's all this hype for Spider-Man next month, and
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye in and of himself has always been an under the radar character.
A
I
little
think
bit,
people are
yeah.
gonna. I think people need to put some respect on his name, and I think that we're overlooking the show. I think this is going to be a can't miss show.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just watched the Jeremy Renner Hot Ones that just came out, and they didn't talk a whole lot about Hawkeye. They talked a little bit about it, but like I love Jeremy Renner. Like everything I've seen with him in it has been pretty good. Like he's a good actor. He's got a great personality for
Yeah,
interviews. Like it was
yeah.
a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to watching this show.
I am too, and I think it's going to exceed a lot of our expectations. I think that it has dark horse potential to be the best show of the 5 that we've had this year.
Ooh, that would be pretty tough. I know that you didn't feel the same way, but I loved WandaVision and I loved What If.
And I loved What If, and I loved Falcon Winter Soldier, and I
Uh-huh.
liked Loki, and I liked WandaVision. I think that Hawkeye, yeah, I get it. I get why people sort of throw shade at Hawkeye. He's an archer. He's not as flashy or as powerful as Thor or Iron Man or Captain Marvel or any of those superheroes. But that's kind of what I like about him is he's a much more
Hmm.
grounded character. And because he's much more grounded, you need I don't want to say more personality, but you need to throw more at him to get us
Yeah.
to care about him. And I think that the ability to use the bow and arrow from a tactical standpoint can make for some great action scenes. As we've talked about, I liked Arrow, at least for the first few seasons. And a lot of that was because the archery aspect was cool. Plus the hand-to-hand combat does a lot for me as well. I like seeing these heroes get into the fight and actually throw hands and
Right.
counterattacks and kicks and things like that. It makes for fun action sequences that are a bit more believable and easier to digest. And so I think that we're going to get a show that deals with a lot of themes. You got to remember
Hmm.
the last time we saw him, he lost Nat, so he's dealing with grief.
Right.
He was
He
Ronin,
does have
and
his family back, which is great.
he has his family back. He was Ronin, so he's going to deal with the guilt of some of that.
Yes.
He's going to play mentor to Kate Bishop. There's a lot that he's going to sort of be dealing with here. And I think that given that we have all of those themes and the action that they're going to throw at us, I think people are sleeping on the show, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. How do you feel about getting 2 episodes at the same time?
I love it. I do. I don't know
Yeah.
if that'll be a thing they do forever. But I don't know, maybe if they're doing that just because of how close it's going to end with Book of Boba Fett. Um,
Hmm.
but I like it. I'm excited to catch those first 2 episodes this Wednesday.
Yeah, because originally we were going to get like the way that we mapped it out, we were going to get the finale of Hawkeye and the premiere of Boba Fett on the same day, which would have been the
Exactly.
Wednesday after Christmas, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll have at least for us, for content creators, it'll be pretty perfect to end Hawkeye one week and then jump back into Book of Boba Fett the week after.
I'm
So
ready for Boba Fett. I just talked about rewatching Mandalorian. I think I might do it before Boba Fett comes out.
that's not a bad idea. At least season 2 almost, right? Just to kind of
Definitely.
reintegrate that thought of, Boba Fett and he's back, and that episode he returned and was so awesome, and where he
Hmm.
left off. Yeah, I am looking forward to Book of Boba Fett. I do have a few things regarding Hawkeye that I wanted to just kind of run past you here, though.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all ears, man.
So these are, I would not call these spoilers, so I feel comfortable talking about it because these are rumors that a lot of people have been talking about all over the internet. There are plenty of
Okay.
YouTube videos up, blogs, things of that nature. There is a thought, and there's a lot of speculation that the overarching villain for Hawkeye could potentially be Kingpin, with Vincent D'Onofrio reprising his role in the series.
It takes place in New York, right?
This takes place in Manhattan. We're going to get to
Okay.
see that Manhattan underground criminal activity that is so common in the MCU.
Yeah.
And the criminal group that you see Hawkeye and Kate Bishop fighting against in the trailer, this is a horrible name, but they are the Tracksuit Draculas. It's the worst group name ever. But
my God,
that group has ties to working for Kingpin in the comics. And we know Echo is going to be introduced in this show, and she has worked for Kingpin. We know that her dad has been casted in the show, and Kingpin kills him in the comics.
Okay. Is that like her origin story, or like why she's a hero or something like that?
Pretty much, yeah. Something along those lines. So,
man, I would love that. I would love to see Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin again. I mean, he was a huge fan favorite character in Daredevil. Huge, favorite of mine. I don't know. Do you think they'll do it?
I kind of do.
You're in on this rumor? Yeah.
There are a lot of rumors that not only are we going to see Kingpin in this, there's even speculation that this could tie in a little bit to Spider-Man next month, because episode 4 will drop for Hawkeye, and then we'll get Spider-Man, and then episode 5 will drop the week afterwards. So the thought is that maybe Kingpin debuts in episode 3 or 4, and then he pops up as the 6th villain in Spider-Man. Heavy rumors that Charlie Cox is going to reprise his role as Matt Murdock in Spider-Man.
In Spider-Man, I have heard that rumor because of the shot where he's in an interrogation room with a lawyer.
That where the lawyer throws his hands down.
Yes. Yeah. And all you can see is like the waist, like you can see a little bit of his shirt, and
I don't think that's him. Because his body type looks a little different than Charlie Cox's.
Okay.
And I don't know why. Like, that guy seemed like he was interrogating Peter. I don't know why he would be so aggressive, but I do think he's in this. He's going to be in Spider-Man. And there are also a lot of rumors that he will be a supporting character in She-Hulk, because Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, is a lawyer.
Makes sense.
And so, and given that we have the Echo show coming out, Echo has a lot of ties to Daredevil as an ally. It just seems like we are on the cusp of getting Daredevil and Kingpin in the MCU.
Well, we know that so Spider-Man's identity has been revealed right at the end of Far From Home. Yep. And so the MCU has not done a whole lot with secret identities. It's not really been a theme. But it has, historically been a big Spider-Man theme. And have you seen, and of course we both know it's a big Daredevil theme. Have you seen the animated movie? Actually, I think it's just a few episodes of the show. But the way that I saw it was a VHS of a Spider-Man Daredevil. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about just from the animated series?
I think it's probably just a compilation of like 3 episodes, but I watched it as a movie when I was a kid.
Okay. I know that those two are aligned in the comics quite a bit, and I know he was in the animated series.
Well, something that I loved from either series or movie, I can't remember which it was, is that Spider-Man and Daredevil knew each other separately from Peter Parker and Matt Murdock knowing each other. And that was really exciting to me as a kid. I mean, that's a cool theme. I wonder if they could carry that into No Way Home. I mean, it seems like No Way Home's already busy enough, but maybe introduce the idea. That'd be kind of cool.
I see, because the whole world now knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he needs the lawyer to help get him off. Seemingly,
Right.
he would. So at least Matt Murdock would know that Peter is Peter and Spider-Man, but maybe Peter doesn't know that Matt Murdock is also Daredevil.
Right, right. So where do you think they'll land at the end of the movie with Spider-Man's identity? Do you think they'll work out the spell or whatever to make everybody forget?
I don't think so. I think that he's going to ultimately. Who knows? Who knows? But I think that there's just so much we don't know about why the spell goes wrong, what
Mhm.
happens, how they resolve it. If they just sort of give up on that because there's all these other things going on, that's a tough prediction to make. I would say, because in that teaser, the whole thing was everybody would forget Aunt May, MJ, Ned, but obviously MJ and Ned are still aligned with him
Right.
after the spell's gone wrong.
Hmm.
So I would say probably not. I mean, I guess
Okay.
the obvious thing is you could say, well, he just told them anyway. Hey, by the way, I'm Spider-Man. This is what happened.
Yeah.
But you know, it feels like the spell goes wrong and they don't, and he learns his lesson. Oh, I should just let this be what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You might be right. I think if I
So
had to go one way or the other, I would bet that something happens that makes it so that everybody does forget that he's Spider-Man, but I don't have anything to back it up. That's just what I predict. I don't have
okay,
any evidence to present. That's my prediction.
that's okay. Let's
Yeah,
park Spider-Man for just another minute because I have
let's do it.
one last thing to talk about with Hawkeye.
Yeah,
Uh,
please.
I don't know about you, but I had completely forgotten about Yelena at the end of Black Widow being shown that Clint is responsible for Nat's death. And
Yeah,
she's definitely in the show, which I hadn't even recognized until like a week ago.
yeah. I don't
Hawkeye
know.
is
I
going to
don't
be
know how
jam
much.
packed.
I know. But like, do you think that Yelena will be the bad guy?
No, I
I
would
don't think so either.
imagine.
I think they're gonna ally themselves quickly.
I would imagine she's probably only going to be in it for an episode or two. I
Okay.
would say it's probably going to be along the lines of what we saw with Val in Falcon Winter Soldier, if not like
Hmm.
maybe slightly more. She'll probably be in it for an episode, and
Hmm.
then the show will end with her just sort of okay, we're cool now.
I wonder if they'll make any new moves with Dark Avengers in Hawkeye. I wonder if
I
they'll
would.
advance that any.
I don't think so. I would say we're more likely because Kate Bishop's supposed to be a young Avenger.
Young Avenger, right?
So I would say that if anything, that maybe we can get a hint for that in the future. But kind of like I said last week, I feel like we're a long ways off from getting any sort of show or movie dedicated to the Young Avengers.
Right. But the more breadcrumbs they spread, the more they tease it, the more people are gonna
Yeah,
be excited about it too. So
sure,
I don't
sure.
know. It's only 6 episodes, but if they could squeeze in a little Dark Adventures advancement, maybe have a little scene with Val somehow. I don't know how they would do it, but I'd be here for it. I think it'd be really cool.
We'll see. I kind of feel like this is going to stay within this world, and I feel like we're probably going to see some tie into the Spider-Man movie. Nothing crazy. Tom Holland's
Hmm.
not going to pop up on Hawkeye, right? Like it's not going to be anything wild like that. We're not going to see Hawkeye and Spider-Man. I do
I think it
think.
needs to though, because it's both in New York and it's happening.
Oh,
We're seeing it at the same time. There's got to be some tie.
nah, no, I don't think we'll see either of those heroes pop up in either movie. You got to like, there's going to be so much going on in Spider-Man, and there's also going to be so much going on in Hawkeye. You can't have Spider-Man. The most that I would accept is like, oh, there's Spider-Man. And he's like swings by on the. That's like the
I did.
extent of what I
I
would
don't
see.
mean like like directly the main characters of each. Like I don't expect Jeremy Renner to be in Spider-Man. I don't expect Tom Holland to be in Hawkeye or
Okay.
anything. But like maybe some interspersed characters. Maybe I don't know. Even something in the dialogue, right? To make that both these things are happening simultaneously. Like
Well, we don't.
maybe they'll have like a jumbotron of Peter Parker's face and like the side by side, like Spider-Man on one side, Peter Parker on another on a billboard or something in Hawkeye.
I could see that happening, but we also don't know if these are going to be going on at the same time. This Hawkeye's going on very much during Christmas. We don't know if Spider-Man's going on during Christmas.
I guess that's true. That is true. Yeah.
If my prediction about, or not my prediction, if the rumors about Kingpin, I came up with
Claim
this,
it.
everyone.
It's yours.
Parking this. If the rumors of Kingpin are true, that I think will be the tie-in. Kingpin is the villain for Hawkeye, and then he is also the sixth villain in Spider-Man.
That would be so cool. That'd be super, super cool. And I'd be really surprised if that's the case, just because I can't fathom how they would keep that under wraps for so long. But I'd be here for it. Like, that'd be so cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, there are a lot of rumors that it's going to happen. There are a lot of rumors that Charlie Cox is coming back, that he'll be Daredevil. And I really want him to. Not only was he perfect as Matt Murdock, but I love the Daredevil. I love that character.
Yeah.
I loved the Ben Affleck Daredevil, as bad as that was, you know?
I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it in probably 15 years.
I'm sure it doesn't hold up.
Oh,
it wasn't even supposed to be good back then, but as an 11-year-old kid, it was always on FX. I watched it all of the time.
Yeah.
I really want to see Daredevil in the MCU, and I think we are on the cusp of that happening.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Spider-Man now. Let's go back to Spider-Man. Okay. Trailer dropped on Tuesday. We have not talked. It's Sunday now as we're recording this. We have not talked about the trailer.
Yeah.
What did you think? What did you think of the trailer?
Well, I think I said, I don't remember if I talked to you about it on air or off, but I said something about, would you watch the second trailer, just because like I feel like we've already seen quite a bit in the first trailer. And you said that you wouldn't be able to avoid it, and that's I agreed, so that's why I watched it. And I don't know if we got too much more. We got shots of Electro, better shots of Electro, a really good shot of Lizard, a really good shot of Sandman.
Yeah.
But not a whole lot of new plot points. We know that the kids capture Doc Ock at some point.
Yeah.
And that's I'm racking my brain. That's the only thing that I can think of. That, and we know that Spidey and Doctor Strange are going to fight one another at some point.
Yes.
Over that cube, whatever that is.
Right. Yeah. I feel the trailer didn't give us a whole lot more in terms of plot and what it's about. I think we know enough about that. But I do think that it gave us a lot. I mean, we got to see Jamie Foxx's Electro. How good does Jamie Foxx look?
With the big, like, shocker, yeah.
Yeah, that was I tweeted this out. That was the perfect way to do the classic Electro look without having the cartoonish mask. I think that is
exactly.
That was absolutely, and when it shows up, he just like really quickly lights up like a Super Saiyan almost, and you see it real quick, and then it goes away. It's like, there it is. There's the thing,
He did, yeah. What a clever way to work it in there.
It was really awesome. It was really well done. Getting to see a little bit more of Doc Ock. Getting to see the Goblin. Not only did we see the classic 2002 Willem Dafoe Green Goblin costume, but there's that shot. It's really quick, blink and you miss it, of another
with
goblin.
The goggles.
Yeah, flying in. Yeah. And people are saying that may not be Willem Dafoe. That may be a different goblin.
I doubt it. I think think it's Willem Dafoe. What do you think?
I've got my fingers crossed that it's a different goblin. I really do. I'm sure the most likely thing is it's Willem Dafoe, but my heart wants me to say it's a new goblin.
What if it's the goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 2?
That would be horrible. That would be, he was not a good goblin. That was Harry Osborn. It wasn't Norman. I will say, if we're talking about Amazing Spider-Man 2, I will say that scene where right after he beats Electro and he's walking up to Gwen Stacy, and it's like, we did it. And then you just hear that in the background and he's kind of flying in. That was really well done. Like that was, because you almost kind of forgot that he was coming up at that point. And it's like, oh crap, Goblin's back, right? And he just kind of zooms in, and that was really well done. But
that whole movie had a lot of cool pieces that just didn't fit together. It just didn't come together right.
Yeah, no one likes the blue Electro, and nobody really cared for the Goblin story, and they did
Hmm.
Gwen Stacy's death very well, but
I agree.
yeah, that movie was definitely disappointing. But
Yeah.
this one coming up, this trailer, what it did for me, it convinced me that Toby and Andrew are going to be in this movie.
What about it convinced you?
So there's a few things. The biggest one, if you watch the shot of Peter leaping out at Sandman, Electro, and Lizard, you
Hmm.
see Peter very easily in the middle, and then you see Lizard down and just going this way and not actually going up at him.
Yeah. Jumping to
And
swipe at nothing.
exactly. And for some reason, the Brazilian trailer, I don't know how this happened, but there are plenty of videos of it online. You see Lizard's head jerk to the left as if it's getting punched.
But that somebody has scrubbed out whoever punches him.
Yes.
See, I've seen the still. I've seen the screenshot of that. I didn't know it was a different trailer. I thought it was
Yeah.
just something that somebody made. I thought that
Nope.
was a fake thing.
That's a real
Really?
thing. Yeah. So I think that they are definitely going to be in it, and I think that they're going to be in it a lot more than a quick cameo like you've kind of been speculating.
Yeah.
Another thing, the shot where they're at the Statue of Liberty and there's that scaffolding and the shield drops down and then Ned and MJ fall out
Yeah.
and you see Peter go after her and he's got the Iron Spider suit without the mask on, and then
Mhm.
the hand that reaches out to grab her is not Tom Holland's hand. It looks like Andrew
Really?
Garfield's hand.
Really?
It looks like blue and red and not black and red.
Interesting. I'll have to rewatch that because I was not privy to that. I'll have to check
Yeah.
that out.
So the
Cool.
thought is that that's going to be Andrew's Spider-Man getting a little bit of redemption and saving MJ, much in the way that he wasn't able to do that in Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Gwen.
That would be cool.
It
That
would
would
be,
be really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I do. I think that they're both going
And
to be in it, and I think it's going to be really exciting.
I should be so excited for Hawkeye, but I'm just Spider-Man is just eating up all my hype right now.
I know. It seems like there's been so much coming out this month too, between
Yeah.
Eternals, between we talked about it. I've been playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond all weekend.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's next week. November has been a big month. Plus we have all this Spider-Man talk and all this hype. Plus Disney Plus
Hmm.
Day came out with all the other shows that are coming out. That's why I
Yeah.
felt like I feel bad for Hawkeye. It's getting really overshadowed, whereas the other Marvel shows haven't been.
Hmm.
But I think people are sleeping on it, and I think that we're going to be pleasantly surprised, and I think it's going to exceed a lot of our expectations. I think it has dark horse potential to be the best of the Disney Plus
Yeah.
shows this year.
I'm really hoping that with these first two episodes that drop on Wednesday,
Yeah,
the internet's going to go crazy for it. I really hope that turns some heads.
I hope so too, and I think that we talked about it. We're both excited to have a show to watch every week again to
Yeah.
review. It's going to help us out at least with doing the podcast every week. But if the rumors are true and Kingpin is going to be in this show and it's going to help launch him up to Spider-Man, this is going to be a special show for sure, and it'll be one to
Yeah.
remember.
Oh yeah, it'll be a treat speculating with you about it too.
I agree. Yeah, we'll get to flex our chops a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. One last thing
Yeah.
about Spider-Man, and this is just a really fun what if situation here.
Hmm.
I've seen some people speculate on this too online. What if in that shot where Ned and MJ fall off, what if Ned doesn't get saved?
What if Ned falls and dies?
What if he's presumed dead, survives somehow,
Okay.
and ends up surviving, and he's mad and bitter and angry that he wasn't saved by whoever.
What
And
villain are you making right now?
Hobgoblin.
Yes. Ned is Hobgoblin.
Ned Leeds in the comics was a hobgoblin.
Was he now?
He was brainwashed, but he was a hobgoblin.
Okay. Okay.
What if?
What if? I don't know, man. That would be wild. Um,
What if that's your post-credit scene? What if you see a
Man,
surviving Ned and he's kind of looking at Green Goblin's hang glider, and he just has this
just kind
mad
of
look on his face.
evil in his eyes.
Yeah, and that's the post-credit scene.
They've shown Oscorp Tower in previous MCU Spider-Man movies, right?
No,
Or
not
this is the
no.
first one? Okay.
Yeah.
And they've never mentioned Osborn by name because
Mm-mm.
I wonder if they'll introduce Harry as a fellow student early on in the movie.
That would be cool. I mean, I definitely would love that. He's such an
He's
important
already
character for Spider-Man.
Yeah, yeah, with the trailer with the Oscorp Tower in the trailer, we know that the Osborns are in New York in the MCU, but I don't know. Like, I
Oscorp
don't.
Tower wasn't in that trailer.
It wasn't in the trailer.
You're thinking of Morbius.
Oh, I am. Crap.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
you're thinking of Morbius. Although there has to be a Norman Osborn in the MCU. There has to be.
Right.
He's got
Right.
like he hasn't been mentioned, he hasn't been alluded to or anything like that, but he's got to
I,
be there somewhere.
I wonder if a plot point with the introduction of the multiverse will have Spider-Man interested in the in our versions of these people, because there's got to be a Dr. Otto Octavius, right? I mean, they ask his name, they have his name, they could research and see
Yeah.
if he's some leading cutting edge physicist or whatever in this universe.
That would be a really fun, I think, mid or post credit scene. I
Mm-hmm.
don't imagine they'll dedicate any time to that in the main movie, just because there's
Mm-hmm.
going to be so much going on, right? You're going to have the fight between Strange and Spider-Man. You're going to have the whole rounding up these villains. Who knows what the box is? There's
Yeah.
plus he's going to have his whole trial. There's so much that's going to be going on in this movie. I can't
Well,
imagine
shoot,
that they're going to
that's why it's 2.5 hours, right?
exactly. So you there might be some fun post credit stuff for sure, but yeah, I can't imagine that
Oh,
they'll
there will be.
they'll take some time to do that in the movie.
Yeah, I would venture to guess that the post credit scenes for Spider-Man are going to be legendary.
It'd be pretty wild, yeah. Probably Eternals level. Eternals had those Eternals post credit scenes were bangers between getting Eros and the tease of
Yeah.
Blade and the Ebony Blade. Like that's pretty big stuff. So I think Spider-Man will probably do something similar to really juice up some intrigue and interest. And we are less than a month away. I cannot wait.
I wonder if they'll do anything with Vulture in this new one.
It's funny you say that. Michael Keaton was just on Fallon or one of those shows, and he said that he was shooting some Vulture stuff here soon for a different
Awesome.
MCU thing.
Interesting. Well, he's probably going to be in Morbius, right?
He is. He is going to be in Morbius.
Okay.
And that's what's so interesting about Morbius that's coming out in January. We know that.
Well, that's sneaking up on me too.
Isn't it? So there's that shot where Morbius is walking, and there's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man poster in the background.
Yes.
Then you see Vulture, and then you also hear somebody say, "What's going on in San Francisco?" alluding to Venom.
Right.
And then I thought there was supposed to be some sort of tie to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, or maybe people are speculating that it's actually set in that universe. But we know this is a bit of a spoiler for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So if you haven't seen that, maybe skip ahead a few minutes. But we know that post-credit scene shows Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom transversing into Tom Holland's Spider-Verse.
Right.
So perhaps maybe that's how they end up getting Morbius in the MCU as well.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he is set in Tom Hardy's universe and does get brought over somehow. Because how else would you explain Vulture in the trailer? That's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, they're cooking up something for sure. I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting to speculate what they're doing.
It really is, and it's hard to predict, and who knows what's going to happen. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tom Holland has been so coy about what's going to happen with him after this movie, and he's talking about he doesn't want to play Spider-Man past 30. But like, what, you know, are you really saying that? And
Yeah.
there's so much
Tell us how
that.
you feel at 30.
Yeah, right. Yeah. 'Cause I'll tell you what, Tom, I'm 29, and if you wanted me to play Spider-Man till I'm 55, I would do it. But there's just a lot to be excited about as a comic book movie fan at this point.
For sure.
Between all the stuff that's going to finish out this year, come out next year, and who knows what Sony's going to do with their Spider-Verse and how it's going to integrate with Marvel's Spider-Verse, and it's a fun time.
Yeah. It's an exciting time to be a stream catcher.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is indeed. That feels like a really fun thing to close off on, unless you have any more.
No, let's do it. Let's get out of here.
Let's go home, folks. We appreciate your time as always. Make sure you let us know what your thoughts are. Hit us up on the Twitter and the Instagram. We got the links in the show notes below. If you're on YouTube, feel free to leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about Hawkeye and all the rumors about Kingpin. If you're on Apple Podcast, a 5-star review helps us out so much. But until next time, folks, we'll see you next week with our Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2 review. Until then, folks, keep on keeping on.
We will catch you later.